I drove for a rideshare app on weekend nights for almost 2 years, mostly cover rent while I finished school. My girlfriend at the time thought it was reckless, getting into strangers' cars, or having strangers get into mine, technically, late at night in a city that wasn't always kind after midnight. To make her feel better, I started a habit that honestly had more to do with keeping her off my back than any real safety plan. Every single fare. The second a passenger got in, I'd send her one text, just the first name the app gave me, and a thumbs up emoji. Nothing more than that. She almost never replied. I don't think she even read most of them. It became so automatic I didn't think of it as a safety measure at all. More like a chore, the way you check a mirror out of habit, rather than because you expect to see anything. This happened on a Saturday close to midnight, near the end of what had already been a long shift. The app matched me with a fare requesting a pickup from a strip mall parking lot that had closed hours earlier. Everything dark except the streetlight over the lot. I pulled in, and a man got in the back seat, mid-30s maybe, quiet, polite in the flat, practiced way people are when they don't actually want to talk. The app listed his name as Alex. I sent my girlfriend the usual text, Alex, thumbs up, without even really thinking about it, exactly like every other fare that year. The destination was a residential address about 25 minutes out, further than most of my rides went, out past the edge of town where the streetlights start thinning and the GPS starts routing you down roads with no real shoulder. Alex didn't say much for the first 10 minutes, just gave short answers when I made the usual small talk drivers make. Somewhere around the halfway point though, he asked me a question that didn't fit the conversation at all. He asked how long I usually drove for, and whether anyone ever knew exactly where I was at any given moment during a shift. I gave him some vague answer about the app tracking the route, which was true, and didn't think much more of it. Plenty of passengers ask odd questions at midnight, but he followed up with something that did stick with me. He said, almost thoughtfully, that it must be strange, being alone in a car with a stranger who could be anyone going anywhere, and nobody in the world knowing exactly where that car actually was. I told him, mostly to fill the silence, that my girlfriend always knew who I picked up, since I texted her every fare. It wasn't a defensive thing to say. I said it the same way you'd mention any small, unremarkable fact about your life. He went quiet after that, and something about the quality of the silence changed. It wasn't awkward anymore. It felt deliberate, like he was recalculating something in his head. About 5 minutes from the destination, he asked me to pull over at a gas station instead, said he needed to grab something quick, and that I could keep the meter running. That wasn't unusual enough to worry me on its own. Plenty of fares stopped for cigarettes or a drink halfway through a ride. What was strange was that once we were parked under the gas station's lights, he didn't get out right away. He sat there for almost a full minute, not reaching for a wallet or a phone, just sitting, and I caught his eyes in the rearview mirror, watching me rather than looking for the store entrance, in a way that made the back of my neck feel wrong before I could have told you exactly why. My phone buzzed on the dash. My girlfriend calling, not texting, which she almost never did on a Saturday night, since she was usually already asleep by then. I answered, and she asked, in a voice that didn't sound like a usual half-asleep tone at all, whether everything was okay. When I asked why, she said that after my text came in with the name Alex, something about it had bothered her enough that she'd actually looked it up. She'd started keeping a private note of every name I sent her, mostly out of boredom during a slow period at her own job, cross-referencing them against the local incident alert page a neighbor had shared with her months earlier. My passenger's first name matched a recent alert describing a man using rideshare apps to select destinations away from populated areas, requesting rides from vulnerable-seeming solo drivers late at night. I don't fully remember deciding what to do next. I remember saying, "Yeah, everything's fine, love you," in as normal a voice as I could manage, ending the call, and then telling Alex calmly that the app was showing an issue with the trip and I needed to cancel and head back toward the station to sort it out. He didn't argue. He didn't need to. He simply got out at the gas station, walked toward the store entrance the way any passenger would, and by the time I pulled back onto the road, checking my mirror the entire way, he was gone. I reported the ride to the app immediately, and separately to the police, who told me my girlfriend's private little habit of cross-referencing names had actually already flagged the same identity twice before, through other drivers' reports, though nothing had been confirmed or acted on, until that night gave them a specific plate and route to work with. What gets me, thinking back on it, is how little any of it was designed to matter. My texts to her were never a real safety system. I built the habit purely to stop her from worrying, a small, slightly embarrassing routine I almost dropped more than once because it felt pointless. Her habit of logging the names was even more incidental, something she did during downtime at a job she didn't even like that much, cross-referencing a neighborhood alert page mostly out of curiosity rather than any real concern for my safety. Neither of us ever discussed either habit as protection. They were just two boring private routines that happened to intersect at exactly the right moment, in exactly the right order, for exactly long enough to matter. I don't drive for the app anymore, but I still send that same text to her, out of a habit I can't fully bring myself to break, even now that neither of us needs it for the reason it started.